host and resident career expert, Todd Bermont. We are coming to you from beautiful downtown Conroe, Texas on Lone Star Community Radio, FM 104.5 and 106.1. Each week on this program, we'll be discussing key topics to empower you to succeed with the job search and your career. In addition, we'll share with you the latest career-related news and jobs data you can use to land a new job and make more money. Our goal with your career is to share with you insider secrets and tips you can use, whether you're looking for a new job or just want to make more on your existing one. On today's program, we're going to discuss some tips on how to interview to win. On last week's program, we discussed how just like a football team practices an entire week for one 3-hour game, it's important to put that same kind of practice and preparation into your interviews. Also, I'm really excited today because we're going to discuss something that I'm very passionate about, and that's helping our veterans. And for the veterans in the audience today, and for those of you who are in the audience that know of some veterans, there is a really important event coming up next week called Red, White, and You. It's a hiring event for veterans. It's going to be at Minute Maid Park, and we have two wonderful guests from Workforce Solutions today, Carolyn Thames and Pedro Bermudez, and we are going to be talking about that event shortly. So stay tuned on that. And also yesterday, speaking of veterans, I had the honor of conducting a workshop to empower veterans at San Jacinto College to land meaningful employment. And we had over 50 veterans attended, and in fact, we were even featured on Fox TV 26 last night, so that was awesome. I want to thank Fox for featuring the event. I'd also like to thank San Jacinto College for just doing an incredible job in hosting that live workshop for our veterans. It's our way of saying thank you for your service. So before diving in, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Todd Bermont, author of 10 Insider Secrets to a Winning Job Search and founder of TCC Learning of League City, Texas. My company, TCC Learning, has created an online program to empower you to land your dream job. To learn more, visit tcclearning.com. That's tcclearning.com. Now for our first topic, interviewing to win. When it comes to the interview, there are a lot of people don't realize, but the interview has 5 phases to it. So the first phase of the interview is the introduction. It is here where you shake hands and introduce yourself. A lot of people don't realize that this is perhaps the most important aspect of the entire interview. Studies show that the first 7 seconds can make or break your interview. So let's drill down on making a great first impression. First, dress the part. A great rule of thumb is to dress like you would on the job. And second, it's to have a solid handshake. If you ever get nervous or clammy, your hands get sweaty, don't worry. A great trick is to arrive early, go to the restroom, and wash your hands with warm water and lots of soap. Repeat it several times. What will happen is the soap will dry out your hands and get rid of that clammy feeling. The warm water will also help raise the temperature of your hands. So that way it'll get back to a normal temperature. So don't worry if you get nervous when it comes to the interview. So you want to really stand out during that introduction. So to do that, one way you can do it is to have a business card. How many of you in this audience, those that are seeking a new job, actually have a business card for yourself? Yeah, a lot of people think, well, I should have a card while I'm working for an employer, but how many job seekers in this audience actually have a business card? It's really important to have one. For under $10, you can order a business card online. You can put the title of the job that you're seeking as the title on the business card, or you can leave off the title and just put your contact information. I also suggest on the card, put a QR code. The QR code is that little funny square box that when you scan it with your phone, it takes you to a website. So have that QR code point to your LinkedIn profile. So that way, it's like having a copy of your resume with you at all times, just on your business card. And if you're not sure how to create a QR code or what a QR code is, just Google QR code and you'll find out. So finally, have a confident smile on your face. It's so important. Communication is 90% of the interview. So make sure you have a warm greeting and use good eye contact when you're meeting individuals. Now for the second phase of the interview, generating interest and building rapport. It's during this phase that you want the discussion to get off to a great start. Ideally, prior to the interview, you research the employer and the interviewer. In your research, hopefully you found out some key areas where you can build rapport. Maybe you went to the same school. Perhaps you're from the same area. The key here is to begin a dialogue to where the interviewer opens up and really enjoys talking with you. The third phase of the interview is to understand the needs and qualify. Is here where you should ask a lot of open-ended questions. Think of playing darts. It's hard enough to hit a bullseye without a blindfold. Now think of playing darts with a blindfold. How tough is it going to be to hit that bullseye? It's going to be nearly impossible. Yet most people approach the interview with a blindfold. Take off the blindfold by asking open-ended questions. Ask questions like, if you had your ideal candidate, what kind of qualities and characteristics would you look for in that person? Another great question to ask. Perhaps, what are the 2 or 3 challenges that keep you up at night that I can help you solve in this position? Or you could ask a question like, what are the critical success factors to succeed in this role? Another question could be, what business needs drove the decision to create this position? The key is to get the interviewer to do more of the talking. In sales, we have a saying that God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, that we should listen twice as much as we talk. The more open-ended questions you can ask, the better your chances are for turning the interview into an open book test. Now, the fourth phase of the interview is when you present your capabilities. The key is to position yourself as close to their vision of the ideal candidate as possible. Be sure to have examples prepared of quantifiable accomplishments, skills, and results. The final phase of the interview is to overcome objections, and in sales, what we call going for the close. What that means is ask for the job. A great way to do that is to say something towards the end of the interview like, this is an exciting position, one that I'm confident that I could hit the ground running. What is the next step in the process for me to become a top contributor on your team? You know, that's a powerful closing statement. That's something that shows confidence, shows that you're excited about the position. That's a lot more powerful than saying, when can I expect to hear back from you? So you want to have that strong close at the end of the interview. Now imagine ending the interview by, just nailing it, right? Having that really strong close. What about your follow-up? Be sure to send a thank you email that same day, because follow-up is every bit as important as the interview itself. Now, I'd like to share with you some additional tips for acing the interview before we go to break. Now, the first tip is, remember that 90% of all communication is nonverbal. Be sure to have a winning posture and be sure to have good eye contact. Dress the part and appeal to all the senses. Now, when I say dress the part, dress like you would as if you were working on the job. Some people make the mistake of underdressing for the interview, but it's interesting because we had some interviews for some folks that were interviewing for millwright and maintenance positions, and a couple of candidates showed up in suits, and they were overdressed. And then the recruiters were left with the impression that even though this person had a tremendous amount of experience, that he had never held a tool in his life because he was wearing a suit. So, however, if you're interviewing at a bank, then absolutely wear a suit. So it really depends on the circumstance, but a good rule of thumb is to dress how you would when you show up to work on the first day. Now, prior to the interview, visualize success. Walk in expecting that you will get the position. Be confident. Believe in yourself. Practice answering interview questions over and over again. In the Careers College, we have over 130 sample questions you can practice. Also, Google questions relevant to your industry. Next, come up with quantifiable examples of what you can do. After all, it's all about the return on investment that you can provide a prospective employer. Remember, at the end of the day, it's all about what you can do for them, not what they can do for you, but what you can do for them. Hiring managers are motivated by two main things: making money and looking good. If you can show in the interview how you will help a manager get better reviews, make more money, and look good to his or her boss, you are well on your way to landing a great job. Now, with that, you are currently listening to Your Career with Todd Bermont on Lone Star Community Radio Network, FM 104.5, 106.1, and irlonestar.com. Stay tuned as we'll be welcoming Carolyn and Pedro after the break.
Lone Star Boxer Rescue is a nonprofit organization serving Montgomery County and surrounding areas, dedicated to the health and well-being of the boxer breed. Lone Star Boxer Rescue is run and managed 100% by volunteers since 1999. Our main objective is to rescue, rehabilitate, and rehome boxers that come to us from many sources, including local animal shelters, owner surrenders, and strays. For more information about Lone Star Boxer Rescue, visit our website at lsbr.org.
Did you know there are more than 790 abused and neglected children currently in foster care in Montgomery County? Will you help make a difference? I'm Allie Stevens with Casa Child Advocates of Montgomery County. We train and support volunteers to be the voice of children in the foster care system. Kids are removed from their home because of abuse and neglect, and we need volunteers just like you to advocate for these children. To learn more about becoming an advocate, please visit CasaSpeaksForKids.com. That's CasaSpeaksForKids.com.
Hi, it's me, Cece Holmes. I'd like to take this time to invite you to spend your Sunday evenings with me, and of course Sunday Evening Jazz, where you will hear the best in smooth jazz, traditional jazz, and indeed so much more. That's Sunday Evening Jazz every Sunday from 5 until 7 p.m. right here on Lone Star Radio, Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 FM.
Welcome back to Your Career. I'm your host and resident career expert, Todd Bermont. Each week on Your Career, we'll be sharing valuable information you can use to further your career and land the ideal job. Now, I'd like to dive into today's core topic, and one that's so important to our community, especially our veterans. And this is the Red, White, and You event coming up in Houston. I am absolutely thrilled today to have two wonderful guests from Workforce Solutions. First, I'd like to introduce Carolyn Thames. Carolyn is a senior business consultant with Workforce Solutions. Workforce Solutions provides comprehensive human resources services for businesses and residents of the 13-county Houston, Galveston, Gulf Coast region. There we go. The Employer Service Division provides personalized service to help employers find qualified applicants for their jobs. You know, and that's interesting because I want to learn a little bit more about that, because a lot of times when you think about it, you just think that your services are for the unemployed, but so it's going to be really fascinating to learn about how you help employers as well. And you help folks build skills and expertise of their new and current employees, as well as address human resources needs. And as a business consultant, Ms. Thames works with local businesses, Chamber of Commerce, economic groups in Matagorda County, assisting employers with their workforce needs. Carolyn is currently serving in her fourth term as well as council member for the city of Bay City. Boy, I'm so tempted to ask you about the election coming up, but I won't. And she is immediate past president of Bay City Lady Lions Club, president of the Economic Action Committee, EAC of the Gulf Coast as well. And Miss Thames and her husband, Mitch, reside in Bay City and are parents of 3 grown children, their spouses, and 5 beautiful grandchildren. Now, our second guest is, I'm really excited about this too, because this is a wonderful success story in itself. And Pedro Bermudez, a former University of Houston student. And I don't know, when I think of working with Workforce Solutions, you have this opinion you're going to be working with a bunch of people that have been around for a while, and Pedro is in this role, and you're 23 years old, and it's just absolutely fascinating. And the fact that at such a young age, you're able to be part of a successful team of business consultants, I can't wait to learn about how you got in this position. And Pedro's responsibilities include building relationship with local employers, providing HR consulting services, and helping decrease our local unemployment rate, which is really nothing more important than that. Pedro is in charge of the Conroe and Huntsville area. So Carolyn and Pedro, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Todd.
Thank you, Todd.
It's an absolute honor to have you both here. And so, first of all, I'd like to ask, what exactly is Red, White, and You? And if you could give us a little overview of the event coming up.
Be happy to, Todd. And I also want to thank Lone Star Internet Radio for having us as well. Hiring Red, White, and You is a statewide job fair. This is our 5th year of doing this. It's going on the same day, Thursday, November the 10th, all over the state. Our event here in Houston will be held at Minute Maid Park, starting at 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock.
Outstanding. So that's interesting, because I was thinking it was just a local Houston event, but so there's ones in different cities across the state?
There is, Todd. I know Dallas, all the bigger cities, Dallas, Fort Worth, San Antonio, Austin. I think Waco has one. I've been concentrated on Houston, but it is going on the same day all over the state.
And so where in Houston is this event going to be located at?
We are located this year at Minute Maid Park.
Okay.
We have the whole main concourse, which will be full of employers. At this time, we have 154 employers signed up.
Wow.
And over 2,500 veterans that have registered so far.
Outstanding. Now, are these employers just showing up because they want to be nice and seem to be community oriented, or are they looking to really hire folks?
They are looking to hire. To vet these employers, they had to have at least 10 openings with a salary of $12 an hour or more.
Fantastic.
We know that the fast food business could easily be there hiring people, but we want to give our veterans the chance to have really good paying jobs with good benefits.
Well, that brings up a really good question. A lot of times the MOS translators, they kind of pigeonhole veterans into certain occupations and that type of thing. But I've seen that veterans can do so many, the talent that veterans bring to the table and the experience that they get at such a young age, it's incredible. So I'm curious of some of the career opportunities that might be at this fair.
We have such a good variety this year. We have anywhere from entertainment business. We have House of Blues. That's the first time they've ever been here. They have so many different, they have management positions. They have bouncer positions. They have just all a variety. And to me, if a veteran just got out of the service and they're maybe going to college, they have weekends that they want to do a job, that's a great opportunity. And we have construction jobs. We have truck driving jobs. We have management positions. We have all types of positions readily available for these veterans and their families.
That's great. That's great. Well, it's interesting because yesterday I did this workshop at San Jacinto, and one of the concerns that a couple of the veterans had was, what if I don't have a degree yet? Should I not bother interviewing? Some companies, they say that you have to have a degree to interview. I'm curious on your perspective on, maybe somebody doesn't have a degree. Is it still worthwhile to show up to the event?
Absolutely. And as I said, the quality of employers is so good this year, and the variety. And a lot of time the veterans have skills that aren't necessarily on the job description. However, an employer will look at a veteran that maybe doesn't have exactly the same qualifications, but they have transferable skills. They know this veteran is well disciplined. They know the veterans they want to work. They want a job. They have just so many different skills that they can use in order to do that. I don't think a degree would stop them in certain circumstances.
And I would like to add to that a little bit and share with our listeners, for those of you who might not have attended the workshop yesterday, the fact that you should never let lack of a credential prevent you from going after a job that you feel you're qualified for. Because, rules are in place, but rules are meant to be broken, right?
That's right.
And I can tell you, I've worked for some of the largest corporations in the world, And yeah, if you just sent your resume to human resources and you didn't have the degree on there, it would be a good excuse for HR to bounce the resume. But what I can tell you is if instead you go directly to the hiring managers, us hiring managers, to be honest with you, and I'm going to share a little secret, we don't really care what's on that piece of paper. What we care about is, can you do the job? Can you make us money? Can you get things done? And are you an employee that I can trust? And I can tell you, veterans, with the incredible experience that you bring to the table, hiring managers like me, if we're not going to care if you don't have that piece of paper. So don't let that keep you from going to the Red, White, and You hiring event. You bring an incredible amount of experience to the table, and most any employer ought to be thrilled to have you on their team. So with that, I'd like to ask some additional questions. You know, I'm curious, what should attendees expect to find when they show up to this event?
When they show up on Thursday, they will be, most of them are pre-registered, so they'll be checking in with us, and they can expect to walk in. We have a program that they will be given that has the booth numbers. If they see a certain employer that they want to go talk to, there's a booth number right there. They can just go directly there, or they can walk around and just visit with every employer.
Is there going to be some kind of a program or a map or something?
Yes, there's a program. It's actually being printed today, and it has a map of the center, and it has all the booth numbers and the employers listed.
What about parking? Where should folks park for this event? Are there lots pretty close by that are pretty affordable? Or
there are. Minute Maid has some free lots that they're letting us use this year. I'm not sure exactly of the letters of them, but they're across from left field. And there's also some downtown parking as well. There's some metered parking, just wherever they find a place to park. Uber is actually a sponsor of the event this year, and they're offering free rides to the veterans to this job fair.
Outstanding. And I assume veterans should bring resumes to the event?
They should bring a copy of their current resume, and we will have staff available, you know, if they need help with that, you know, maybe tweaking it, but I wouldn't do it at the event because we don't have a way to print that out. But if they want to attend one of our offices between now and Thursday, we have 23 offices in the 13-county Houston-Galveston region, and we have staff that would be happy to help them get a resume together.
And do they have to pay for these resume services?
Absolutely not. Our services are free.
Outstanding. So they can actually print out multiple copies. Because you go to FedEx office or something like that, it can cost a lot of money to make a lot of copies of the resume. So you're saying that you can make copies and print out resumes for free at Workforce Solutions?
Yes, sir. We have copy machines. We have fax machines. We have computers available. We have staff that can help them. You know, we'd like them to learn how to use the computer. A lot of people come in and they go, I don't know how to use a computer. Well, we have people that'll show you how to use a computer. In this day and time, you need to learn how to do a computer.
Outstanding. Well, I didn't realize a lot of those services were available.
They are.
That's great. So, so if there's 154 employers there, then they should probably bring several copies of the resume.
I would
right?
bring at least 20 copies, and hopefully, you know, you're going to see that many. But I would go ahead and make a lot of copies, get you a folder to keep them in, and any employer that you're interested in their positions, make sure they have that resume and talk to them, shake their hand, look them in the eye, tell them what skills you have that would help their company.
So it's Thursday, November 10th.
Yes, sir.
It's at Minute Maid Park. And the time again?
9 a.m. The doors will open at 9 a.m., and we're there till 1 o'clock.
9 until 1?
9 until 1.
Oh, okay. All right. It's outstanding. And, you know, I'd like to go to Pedro now because when I saw your bio prior to meeting you today, I was really intrigued. 23 years old. And you're at Workforce Solutions. That's pretty impressive.
Thank you.
What is it that how'd you go about getting this opportunity, and what was your background before getting it?
Well, you see, my background is in sales, dealing with sales through indirect sales, and I've covered large territories before. Now, the reason I was able to get this opportunity was because I had my resume uploaded into Work in Texas. Now, there was a job posting. The employer was able to see that I was qualified for this, and we just discussed, having a degree or not. I don't have my degree just yet, but the employer knew that I could get the job done. The employer knew that I had skills, and they saw who I really was, and I got hired, and it was an opportunity that has led me to change a lot of lives. I reach out to a lot of these employers and bring resumes to the table, and they say, wow, this job seeker really can get it done here. And I'm able to change these lives from people that may not have anything on the table to having a job within a day.
That's awesome. And yeah, I'd be really curious to see the job description, because I would be willing to bet that job description said that you had to have at least a bachelor's degree. I would be willing to guess that. And so this is just a perfect real life example of what we were talking about, that, don't let a particular credential get in the way of getting the job that you're meant to do. And each and every one of you in this audience has an incredible amount of skill that you can bring to the table. And, until they figure out how to clone human beings, no two human beings are identical. So each and every one of us just brings so much to the table, and it's important to be confident in what you can add. So one more question before we go to break, and we'll just make it a quick question. We were talking a little bit about the numbers of employers, but I'd like to drill down into industries. Are there specific industries, or is it a wide swath of companies that will be there?
There's actually going to be a variety of companies. If we have 154 employees, we just don't want them all to be in the medical field, or we don't want them just to be dealing with fast food. We have a variety from manufacturing, from medical to fast food to banks to accounting firms, all broad aspect of jobs for all these individuals that they can relate to a job that they've done before.
Excellent. All right. Well, we are going to go to break now. So with that, you are currently listening to Your Career with Todd Bermont on Lone Star Community Radio, FM 104.5, 106.1, and irlonestar.com. Stay tuned, as we'll be discussing more about supporting our veterans and the Red, White, and U event.
Thanks for checking out this production on Lone Star Community Radio, Montgomery County's radio station. For more information on this show and other shows on Lone Star, check us out online at irlonestar.com. If you're interested in sponsoring a program on Lone Star Community Radio and reaching the local audience of Montgomery County on FM, internet, and TV media, please call 936-647-5747 or contact us online at irlonestar.com. This recording is a Lone Star Community Radio production, produced by the show host and Dick Schissler of Lone Star Community Radio. Interested in volunteering as a music DJ or starting your own talk show? Contact Dick Schissler at dick@irlonestar.com or by phone at 936-647-5747.